dear students of standard 12, today we are going to deal with the grammar topic voice. Now you have been doing this right from your 6th standard onwards, but we keep getting doubts frequently. So here is a complete recapitulation of what you have learnt in the earlier classes. Voice is of two types, active and passive. Now what do you mean by the active voice? I will give you an example. Ram read a book. So here in a sentence what we speak of is the subject. So who are we speaking about? We are speaking about Ram. So Ram is the subject, and which is the verb here? Read. Now Ram read what? So the answer you get is the object. Ram read a book. Now Ram is the subject and here the subject does the action of reading. So this is of the active form. The verb is of the active form. Now when I convert it into the passive, I would write it this way. A book was read by Ram. Now why do I call it the passive? Now look at the subject. What are we talking about? We are talking about a book. Now which is the verb? Was read. By whom? By Ram. Now observe these two sentences. Here Ram subject. Now in this sentence Ram becomes the object. Now read is the verb here. It gets transformed into was read, and a book is the object here. It becomes the subject here. So Ram read a book is transformed into a book was read by Ram. So what are the changes that we made? Now here subject does the action, but here a book does not do the activity of reading. Something is done to the subject. The subject is passive, it is silent. When the subject does not participate in the action, it is passive. So transformation is done to the verb. Now always in the passive form, the verb is of the form be plus past participle of the verb. So read becomes was read. By whom? By Ram. So the subject of the sentence in the active voice becomes the object in the passive form. Now look at this form, simple present. When the verb is of the simple present, in the passive the verb undergoes this change, is or are or am plus past participle of the verb. So this form of the verb should be found in your answer. I will give you some examples. Sheila writes poems. Now Sheila writes what? Poems. Poems plural subject. So I start my passive with poems. Since it is plural, I choose the verb are. So poems are. Now third form, past participle, write, wrote, written. So poems are written by Sheila. Next sentence, the teacher calls me often. The teacher subject, calls verb. The teacher calls whom? Me. So this is my object. When I rewrite this in the passive form, me would change to I. So when I choose I, the verb form is am. So I am called, called, past participle. I am called often by the teacher. Look at this sentence. I am giving you an interrogative sentence. Does he make mistakes often or frequently? Now to understand this better, you convert it into the statement. He does make mistakes often. Now he does make what? Mistakes. So mistakes plural are made often by him. Now when you convert it into an interrogative, bring this question word to the beginning. So are mistakes made by him often or made often by him. The adverb could occur in any place. So, it could either come here or there. Are mistakes often made by him, are mistakes made by him often. So, this is your answer. So, conform to this rule, it will help you to convert the sentences into the passive when the tense form of the verb is of the simple present. Now, we proceed to the next form. Now, look at this tense, present continuous tense. So, here the structure is or are or am plus being plus past participle of the verb. Let us consider some examples. My uncle is writing a novel. So, my uncle is writing what? A novel. A novel is the object. So, my answer in the passive would start with a novel. Now, a novel is singular, so I choose is, and this ing in writing is added to be. I told you be plus past participle. So, here it is being. A novel is being, then write, wrote, written. So, past participial form is written. A novel is being written by my uncle, right. Now, the second sentence. Are the children reciting rhymes? Oh, okay, rhymes. Are the children reciting rhymes? So, convert it into a statement. The children are reciting rhymes. The children are reciting what? Rhymes. So, rhymes plural are, then I should include being, recite, recited, recited. So, are being recited by the children. So, when I convert it into a question, my job is easy. I bring this question word to the beginning and I have a small letter for rhymes. Are rhymes being recited by the children? Should not forget your question mark, because the actual sentence is an interrogative sentence. So, your answer too is of the interrogative form. Now, we move on to the next one, present perfect. Now, here if it is singular you have has, if it is plural you have, plus here in the continuous we had ing form, here you have been plus past participle of the verb. I have completed a book. So, maybe I have read it or maybe I have written it, whatever it is. I have completed a book. I have completed what? A book. So, a book singular, so I choose has been completed by me. It can be I have completed the project, I have completed the assignment, I have completed the test, whatever it is. You can replace it with anything you wish. Has he given you the invitation? Now, observe the sentence carefully. Has he given you the invitation? As usual, I will convert it into a statement. He has given you the invitation. Now, when you look at the sentence, you will find that you have two objects here. He has given whom? You. So, answer to the question whom is called the indirect object. He has given what? The invitation. Answer to the question what is called the direct object. So, naturally in your passive form you get two answers. Now, he has given whom? You. So, you have, remember, been plus past participle, you have been given the invitation. Now, by him it is optional here. You could retain it or you could omit it. It is understood. You have been given the invitation. So, this is my auxiliary or question word. I take it to the beginning. So, my answer would be, have you been given the invitation? Now, let me move on to answer number 2. He has given you what? The invitation. So, in this sentence, when I convert it into the passive, the invitation singular has been given to you. Again, as I told you earlier, by him is optional. So, my auxiliary or helping verb comes to the beginning. So, has the invitation been given to you? So, this is the answer. So, take care to check the verb and then the tense form of the verb. So, if you want, you can follow this method of converting it into a statement, getting the answer and then bringing the auxiliary to the beginning. So, in the initial stages you do this. When you get ample practice, you can do it immediately on looking at the question. Now, look at this tense, past tense. So, here was or were plus past participle of the verb. My uncle gave me a gift. Now, my uncle gave whom? Me. So, indirect object. My uncle gave what? A gift. So, direct object. So, once again I have got two answers in my passive. My uncle gave me. So, me changes to I. So, I was, now gave. So, give present tense, gave past tense, given past participle. I was given a gift by my uncle. Now, the other answer, a gift was given to me by my uncle. So, got it, students? You get two answers here. Did he complete the project on time? So, this is an interrogative sentence. So, he did complete the project on time. Now, he did complete what? The project. So, the project singular was completed on time. I could omit by him. Now, I take the auxiliary to the beginning. My answer is was the project completed on time question mark. So, this is your answer. So, that is for the past tense. We move on to the next tense. Now, the rule is was or were plus being plus past participle of the verb. Look at this sentence. The boys were playing games. The boys were playing what? Games. So, my answer starts with games. Games plural. So, I choose were. Since it is continuous ing form, I get being. Games were being played by the boys. Next sentence. Was the chief guest delivering a lecture? So, when I convert it into a statement, the chief guest So, was delivering a lecture. The chief guest was delivering what? A lecture. A lecture singular was being delivered by the chief guest. Now remember, my sentence is of the interrogative form. So, I bring the auxiliary to the beginning. So, the answer is was a lecture being delivered by the chief guest. Do not forget to add the question mark so that your sentence remains interrogative. The next is the past perfect tense. Now remember, had plus been plus past participle of the verb in the past perfect. If it is present perfect, you have has or have. Has for singular, have for plural in the present perfect. But for past perfect, whether the subject is singular or plural, you have only had. So, the teacher had issued the progress cards. The teacher had issued what? The progress cards. So, start with that. The progress cards. Now, had issued changes to had been issued. By whom? By the teacher. Now, next I am going to give you an interrogative sentence. Had Mary shown you the album? Had Mary shown you the album? Now, when I convert it into a statement, I would write it this way. Mary had shown you the album. Remember, you have two objects here. Mary had shown whom? You. Mary had shown what? The album. So, answer number 1, you had been shown what? The album by Mary. Now, I am going to convert it into the interrogative form. So, I bring this to the beginning with a capital H. Had you been shown the album by Mary? Question mark. This is answer A. Now, the next answer, Mary had shown you the album. So, the album with a direct object here, the album had been shown to you by Mary. Okay. Now, the album had been shown to you by Mary. Once again, bring the question word to the beginning, the auxiliary. So, this is the second answer. Had the album been shown to you by Mary? That is the answer. Had Mary shown you the album? Had you been shown the album by Mary? Had the album been shown to you by Mary? So, these are the two answers in the passive form. Now, we move on to the next tense, simple future. Now, here the form is will or would or shall plus be plus past participle of the verb. PP stands for past participle. My sister will furnish the details. My sister will furnish what? The details. So, the details subject, will furnish changes to will be furnished. by my sister. Now we move on to the interrogative form. Will they give me permission to leave? Will they give me permission to leave? Now, will they give whom? Me, indirect object. Will they give what? Permission, direct object. So, first I will convert it into a statement so that you can understand it easily. They will give me permission to leave. Okay. So, consider me now. It changes to I. So, I will give changes to will be given. I will be given permission to leave. You could omit by them because it is understood. So, bring this will to the beginning, helping verb. So, the answer is, will I be given permission to leave? Question mark. Okay, this is answer A. Now, transformation B, they will give me what? Permission. So, permission, again will give changes to will be given. You can omit by them. Permission will be given to me to leave. Bring the auxiliary to the beginning. So, will permission be given to me to leave? Question mark. So, I repeat, will they give me permission to leave? Will I be given permission to leave? Will permission be given to me to leave? So, these are the two answers in the passive. Now, the next is future perfect. Now, here the structure is will or shall or would plus have plus been plus past participle of the verb. Whenever you get perfect, you have been. Whenever you get ing form continuous, it is being, being. So, the headmaster would have met my father. The headmaster would have met whom? My father. So, my father, now would have met changes to would have been met. My father would have been met by the headmaster. Next, I am going to give you an interrogative sentence. Will they have submitted the assignment? So, as usual statement, they will have submitted the assignment. Passive form, they will have submitted what? The assignment. So, passive form starts with the words the assignment. The assignment will have submitted changes to will have been submitted. The assignment will have been submitted. By them is optional. So, when the agent is obvious, you omit the agent. When the agent is not necessary, when it is very clear, when it is obvious, you omit the agent. So, the assignment will have been submitted. Bring the question word to the beginning. Will, small t, will the assignment have been submitted? So, remember to add a question mark here. Will the assignment have been submitted? So, this is how you render the future perfect in the passive. Now, you might be wondering why I did not give you the passive form for these tenses: past perfect continuous, present perfect continuous, future perfect continuous and future continuous. All these 4 do not take the passive form. So, that is why I did not discuss any of those. Now, moving on to the next part, we have another type here, commands and requests. Now, just look at the sentence. Open the box. Whenever it is a command, the subject is omitted. You, that is the subject implied here, it is understood. Look at the board, take down the notes, answer me, listen to me. So, in all these cases, the subject is you. Now, open what? The box. So, the box is your subject here. So, we write it in this form, let the box be opened. Okay. Now, this is a command, and then when we talk about requests, so what do we do here? So, here let the window be closed, or if you wish to include this meaning there, then you would write it this way: you are requested to close the window. So, this please is implied here, or if you want the passive form of this, let the window be closed. Now, the last one is infinitives. Infinitives, I have done it here anyway. Infinitives and general statements. You are to guide me. So, you will observe that to guide is the infinitival form here. So, you are to guide whom? Me. So, I am, to guide changes to be guided. I am to be guided by you, because specifically I am requesting you to guide me. So, this is the change in the infinitival form. Right. Now, they say that Shekhar is generous. So, some person Shekhar, they say that Shekhar is generous. So, here you could rewrite it in this form. So, you can say it is said that Shekhar is generous. This is one answer. The other answer could be this: Shekhar is said to be generous. So, in this case you got 2 answers. So, now students, on doing it tense by tense, have the rules in mind, and when you perform the transformation, do it according to the rules. I hope you will definitely succeed and score full marks. Thank you.